Hi, this is Tutor Nick, and this is Quotes 72. Today's quote from Edward Bernays. He was the pioneer in public relations and propaganda. If you've never heard of this guy, you probably should try to look him up and understand him, because he probably has had more influence upon you than you'll ever realize, or more influence upon society than anybody ever thinks, even though the average person probably doesn't know who he is. But let's look at the quote first. We are dominated. Dominated means controlled by the relatively small number of persons, so very few people, who understand the mental processes and social patterns of the masses. So they understand how your mind works. Mental process, how you work, how to push your buttons, how to make you react this way or make you react that way. Whether you're for something or push you to like something or dislike something. So who understand the mental processes and social pattern of the masses. So yeah, he understood, like, people respond to things like fear, people respond to desire, like, sexual desire or things like that. People respond to things like revenge, or just thinking that you're doing the right thing or the good thing. He knew how to set it up to make people want to respond. Okay, so let's go on. It is they who pull the wires which control the public's mind. Pull the wires like pull the strings, almost like a puppet. So what he's actually telling us is that there are some very few people, very small number of people. Maybe these are the people that might have control of the media, control of the movie industry, things like this. And you don't realize, we tend to think everything is natural and every individual writer is just doing his own thing, but a lot of ideas or suggestions are put into stories. They're put into the news to try to lead you to think certain things, or have society go in certain directions. That's basically what he's telling you. All right, let's look at the note here. Edward Bernays was the father of propaganda. Yeah, actually, this is where people like Hitler and Stalin and Mao, they all got their ideas originally coming from this guy. And it was after World War II that Edward Bernays himself was the one that changed the name of propaganda. He changed it to public relations, because propaganda got a really bad name during World War II. Everybody heard propaganda. They always thought terrible things about propaganda. So he just simply changed the name. Okay. Anyway, who used techniques or methods, with the help from his uncle, Sigmund Freud. Yes, the Sigmund Freud, the father of psychology. So this is where he got a lot of his ideas. His uncle was actually Sigmund Freud. So even though he did a lot on his own, he would often contact his uncle, and it was almost like experiments. And this is how he learned how to do it. He learned how to use the media to manipulate, to control the way people think. At first, he used his techniques to help companies sell products. Yeah, if you ever look him up, you find out he's one of the ones that convinced women to start drinking. No, not drinking, using cigarettes. I'm sorry, smoking. Before that, it was like taboo for women to smoke. But he gave women like the ideas like it was liberty and freedom, and I'm not sure it was really a benefit for women. Even though women should have the right to smoke, I don't know if it was really for their benefit. And he was the one that kind of helped promote the idea of, eating meat for breakfast. That's why a lot of, before that, Americans actually used to just have more of a continental breakfast like they have in Europe. They used to eat something light. But a meat company hired him, and he ended up contacting some doctors and had one doctor write up how important it is to have a full breakfast, and then he sent it out to all kinds of other doctors, and before you know it, it became a common thing in the U.S. So he had a lot of influence. So that's some of the sort of stuff. There's a lot more I could mention, but too much to talk about. But his techniques were so successful, governments and special, rich, powerful interests. All right? These are the ones he's really talking about when he says a small number of people are the ones that control and manipulate a lot of people's thinking. Powerful interests used his methods to sell the public any ideas they want. Promoted for their own agendas. So whatever they want, whatever way, some way that they can make money, or if they were interested in a war or something else, they used his ideas to try to sell it to the people, his methods. Okay, for their own agendas, and often this was not for the benefit of mankind. Okay, it's an important quote. I hope it's informative. I hope you got it. You know, you might actually want to check out a little bit more on your own because it goes much deeper than this video can. But anyway, thank you for your time.